Here are the 12 steps that you can follow to build a large septic tank for your commercial building. My name is Brian Ian, civil engineer by profession, and I'm going to demonstrate for you on how you can go about large septic tanks. So let's dive in. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to construct a septic tank for commercial buildings from start to finish. This approach that I'm about to show you works when building a septic tank for very many users, for example schools, hotels, markets or apartments like this one having very many users. And I'm going to show you the full coverage on how we built this septic tank for this particular building with all clear steps that we went through right away from excavation of the septic tank, excavation of the soak pit, building the walls, casting concrete for the top slab until when we completed this septic tank. So be sure to watch this video till the end because you don't want to miss this. Let's first clearly understand what a septic tank means. A septic tank is this container that we build underground to treat sewage and wastewater back into the groundwater system. So everything that people living in these apartments will flush from the toilet, sink, washing machine, showers, and any other wastewater will end up in the ground with the help of this septic tank system. The first step when building a septic tank is to do excavation, and for this particular septic tank, we excavated a pit that is 5.2 meters along the length, 3.6 meters along the width, and 5.5 meters depth. This septic tank is going to be having cars parking on top of it, and that's why you also have to excavate bases for the columns here at the bottom. You can decide to make these bases 1.2 meters by 1.2 meters by 300 millimeters depth. This middle part has 3 columns, and that's why we excavated it as a whole. Mix anti-termite chemical with water, stir properly and apply to the sides and bottom of the pit. The third step is to do a concrete blinding at the bottom or bases in the pit. The fourth step is to do steel fixing for the columns. For the columns, we are using main bars of T16 with rings of R8 ribbed at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, and the steel bars here at the bottom are T12 for both bottom 1 and bottom 2 bars at a spacing of 150 mm center to center. Set out for the columns properly, ensuring that they are straight and on square. Ensure that you tighten them properly not to get out of position. They are very heavy, so they have to be tightened from up, preferably with pieces of steel bars. The fifth step is to cast mass concrete at the bottom of the pit. This concrete that we are going to cast will cover all bases, and when casting it, we do it in a way to avoid segregation of building materials. And that's why we make a platform where concrete can slope off from up to the bottom of the pit. And the way we make it is so simple. Make timber ladders, then fix timber on the sides. This platform helps concrete to move from the mixer up to the bottom. You have to take note here, please. Do not drop concrete to a height above 1.5 meters because it will cause segregation. Segregation is the separation of building materials, that is sand, cement, water, aggregates from each other. So when you drop them, they will do segregation and will no longer make a strong mix. For this concrete here at the bottom, we use the mix ratio 1:2 to 4. The thickness of the mass concrete here at the bottom is 100 millimeters. Slope this concrete here at the bottom, ensuring that the inlet side is at the lower side and the outlet side is slightly at a higher one. This helps to trap solids on one side, that is the inlet side, and the liquid flows to the second chamber with ease. The sixth step is to build the walls, and we are using clay bricks to build the walls. We considered the wall thickness of 300 millimeters. Since the pit was big, we made it to have a slightly bigger wall thickness to counter the forces from the soil pressure. If the depth is, let's say, 3 meters and the septic tank is small, even 200 millimeters is okay because there is less soil pressure. And when the septic tank is very deep, say 5+ meters, and it's very large, it's better to have a wall thickness that is large also to prevent the wall from collapsing. Ensure that all courses are on level. Reinforce 2 lines of hoop iron every after 3 courses. You also have to put a separating wall in the middle so as to have 2 chambers of the septic tank. Let's say the whole length is 5.2 meters. This first portion, that is the inlet side, will be 2.7 meters, and this second portion, that is the outlet side or overflow, will be only 1.6 meters. The first chamber is 3/4 and the second chamber is 1/4 of the whole part, meaning solid sewage will first digest from this first chamber, turn into liquid sewage before it flows the second chamber. We build these walls smartly and neatly as shown in the video. The seventh step is to do the intermediate ring beam. This beam must be positioned at halfway the height of the pit. We made this beam 400 mm depth and 300 mm wide, 4 T16 steel bars with rings of R8 at a spacing of 150 mm center to center. When preparing to cast concrete, it's better to have a poker vibrator to help to remove air voids, thus increasing the strength of the concrete and achieving the design mix performance. The eighth step is to build the wall above the beam. Similarly, reinforce the walls with hoop iron after every 3 courses. Mix ratio 1:4, that is 1 part of cement and 4 parts of sand. At this stage, you have to be mindful of where your brickwork will stop, because we want the septic tank to be at a low level so as to lay pavers on top of it. Fix the inlet pipe, middle pipe and the outlet pipe. When doing plumbing for these commercial buildings, we use large pipes when doing drainage or moving sewage from the house to the septic tank, and then we use smaller pipes when moving wastewater from the house to the septic tank. That is 6-inch pipes when moving sewage and 4-inch pipes when moving wastewater into the septic tank. You also have to fill concrete for the remaining part of the columns. Vibrate it to have a strong bond. Mix ratio here is 1:4, that is 1 part of cement, 2 parts of sand and 4 parts of aggregates. The ninth step is to plaster the walls. Plaster the walls with a sand cement mix 1:3, that is 1 part of cement, 3 parts of sand. When mixing mortar for doing plastering, add waterproofing powder or liquid within the plaster. Also add a cement paste on top of the plaster and finish with a steel float, and then leave at least for a day to dry. The 10th step is to paint the walls with bituminous black paint. This bituminous black paint acts as a waterproofing layer as it prevents cracks or leakage. You have to paint both in the sides and at the bottom or base of the septic tank. Later, the plumber will fix a T here. At a later stage, after doing the shattering, we shall fix a T at this pipe entering the second chamber and also here. The 11th step is to do shattering and steel fixing for the top slab. We begin by fixing the beams, do all shattering or formwork for the slab. Also fix provisions for inspection chambers, both at the inlet side and the outlet side. We are considering chambers that are 500 mm by 500 mm. Lay a DPM or polythene sheeting on top of the timber and fix steel bars on top of the slab. Since cars are going to be parking on top of this septic tank, we had to create a very strong slab. We used T12 double mat at a spacing of 150 mm center to center, and then for the beams, we used 3 top bars and 3 bottom bars, T16 for all beams. The slab is 200 mm thick and the beam is 400 mm. Bend the overlapping column bars into the slab. This makes the slab bond properly with the columns and beams. And now it's time to cast the concrete. The 12th step when building the septic tank is to cast concrete for the top slab. Start by pouring clean water, cleaning through all beams on top of the slab to ensure that the concrete powers on a clean place. This helps to ease the shattering and also create a strong slab. Remove all the unused binding wires, and now the slab is ready and it's time for casting concrete. Make a platform where the concrete can slope from and then pour the concrete mix. Use mix ratio 1:4, that is 1 part of cement, 2 parts of sand and 4 parts of aggregates. Good lake sand and 1/4 inch aggregates. Be sure to vibrate the concrete properly. Cut off the excess concrete and shape the concrete on top properly. And this is the final look of the concrete for the slab. After at least 21 days, remove timber from the pit and clean inside the pit. All this timber has to be removed. This water inside the septic tank entered at this stage when casting concrete for the top slab, so it has to be pumped out. Since the space on site was very small, we first worked on the septic tank separately and then excavated the soak pit also separately. We set out the soak pit that was 5.4 meters diameter and 6 meters depth. When excavating the soak pit, it's better to take away the soil every time it increases to provide enough working space. You also have to be sure to excavate while reducing the diameter of the pit as you go down to reduce the risk of it falling inside. We use hand hose instead of a machine because the machine's hole cannot reach 6 meters deep. As the pit deepens, you also have to make a platform which will help you bring the soil up. 2 people will load the soil inside the pit, while other 2 will bring it up. Once excavation is done, it's time to purchase the hard core to fill in the soak pit. We buy this kind of hard core, the steel type, because it doesn't break easily when filling in the soak pit. For this particular soak pit, we used 3 Sinotracs 12 tire plus 1 10 tire Sinotrac. When working on the soak pit, we also bought a PVC pipe to position at the center of the soak pit. This pipe was 200 mm diameter and with a thickness of 7.7 mm, meaning when working on a very large soak pit, you have to go with these details. 200 mm diameter, 7.7 mm thickness, PN10, 6 meters length, either in blue or gray color. And its price is around $80. Fill the soak pit with stones to full capacity, cover it with a polythene sheeting or any kind of DPM and then backfill with marram. Fill with marram on top and then compact with a jumper. Compacting with a jumper helps to create a strong base and prevents sinking after laying pavers on top. You have to fill the top with a lot of marram to prevent rain runoffs from coming towards the soak pit. That's all about how to build a large septic tank for your commercial building. I hope you get something from it. In case you want to buy these septic tank plans or drawings for your septic tank project, the link is in the description. Click this video here on the left to watch a full playlist about septic tanks, or click this video here on the right to learn the new way on how you can build your steel stand tank tower. Thank you so much for watching.